So we will just dive into the program so that we can quickly get done with the official opening, and then we will go to the convergence, which is one of the things that we'll be having today. So let me quickly welcome the Secretary General of the Musicians Union of the Gambia, Mr. Kila Is, who we will ask to please give us a welcoming statement before we get started with everything. Mr. Ali Cham. Thank you.
BC Al Jazeera, are you guys ready? France 24, are ready? Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to this great event, which is very important towards what would happen and what should happen in our industry. We would like to give a special thank you to the media who came on time, and spent their energy to come cover this event. We definitely appreciate the long-term partnership that we've had with the media, and we'll continue thanking you. We acknowledge the presence of the National Female Artists Association, NAFA, who are here in full presence. We also acknowledge the presence of our fellow artists and other stakeholders. We would like to thank Alliance Française Institute, AFB Banjul, for the new partnership as part of our collective responsibilities in the creative sector. Thank you so much, Alliance Française, for entrusting us. Apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our convergence. I would just like to give a little brief about us as Music Gam, a few things that we've done since our 1.5 year as the new executive. Over the years, it's been a difficult journey as a musicians union, considering what we've inherited, considering the format that we found available. But despite that, things are better. We can happily say that now we officially have an office, which is located at Caraba Avenue, fully equipped. We can proudly say that we started registrations with our members, and members are registering. And we encourage more members to register under the Musicians Union of the Gambia to give us the power that we need to collectively move this industry forward. As being a member comes with many benefits that I believe a lot of artists are not aware. And one of them is, example, free legal advice, which is very important to our artists as we hear every day situations of contract problems and many other disagreements that artists face. There's also an opportunity to get recommendations for when you travel. You have access to funding opportunities. You have access to be part of events that take place within our network, amongst many other benefits. So I would definitely encourage our fellow artists and stakeholders to register to the Musicians Union. Last but not least, I would like to talk about Alliance Française Banjul and this great new partnership, which would definitely be meaningful towards the development of our creative sector. We would like to thank Alliance Française for having trust in this partnership, which is going to go a great way moving forward as an industry. And this is just the beginning. We look forward to doing many great things together. We would like to thank them for their, great professionalism, their commitment, and, efforts in trying to see a different format in the musical industry of the Gambia. The program today is basically for us. It's about us, for us to discuss our issues amongst ourselves, to see a way forward, and to find amicable solutions that can definitely be used to take the industry to a higher level. I will not take no more of your time. Once again, on behalf of the Musicians Union of the Gambia, we would like to thank everybody for attending this event and hope to see your participation and involvement moving forward. Thank you very much.
Some of the achievements that we are able to accomplish. One of them is to be able to have our own office that is functional, and also conducting registration for artists across the country, amongst other things. So I would now want to invite Justin, who is the Director General for Alliance Française Gambia, to also make a statement. Thank you so much, Justin.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Well, we are nearly in the afternoon now. So my name is Justine Gauchal-Bauer. I'm actually the new director of the Alliance Française since now 10 months. So the Alliance Française, it's quite well known as a French cultural and language center, which aims to promote French language and French culture. But not only. The Alliance Française is, first of all, a local non-profit association, which also aims to promote the local cultures and arts. So that's why today we are here, and I'm really glad to host this event. So first, I would like to thank a lot Musicam, Momodou and Kila Ace for all their work, working with us to build this whole event, which will be held for a whole week long. The idea is really for us to celebrate the Music Day, the World Music Day. So it was actually launched in 1982 in France by our previous cultural minister, Jacques Lang. So the World Music Day really take birth in France in 1982, and the first goal was to promote musicians, to promote music, and to make free music for all. So free access to music and to get awareness also about music. So now, since 1982, it's an event which is carried with the name of World Music Day, which is previously Fête de la Musique, and now it's carried in more than 120 countries in the world. So that's why for us, as the Alliance Française, as a cultural center, it's really important to carry this event, Fête de la Musique, and also to take the chance to make a whole event around this World Music Day. And that's why when we learned about also Musicam efforts to put together an event, we said, okay, let's work together, let's build this event together. And now it's really first collaboration around the World Music Day, which I believe will last for years and years. It's really my wish. Because it's really a long-term process to carry artists and cultural sector and field. It's a really long process, and we need to work all together. So, as I'm used to say, the Alliance Française is a great tool. It's an open house to any people who want to come, including, of course, artists. And I would like to acknowledge also the presence of artists today. And I would like to thank you for coming. And so, if we want to carry together a project, we have to work all together, which means partners, sponsors, medias, which I would like also to acknowledge and thanks the medias for being here today. So it's really a long process, and working together, I believe that we can carry this work together and make sure that we help also the music in the Gambia to grow. And really the Alliance is open for that by organizing some event, letting access to our premises when it's possible, getting promotion also for the musicians. So yes, so thanks again to Momodou, thanks again Kila for your efforts, and the whole Musicam team, of course. I would like also to thank the Alliance Française team, because yes, the director is something in an organization, but the team is obviously the most important. So I have actually Mathilde, who is working a lot on this event, and also our technical team. So thanks to all of them. So part of today it's Music Convergence. So it's the first event of a whole series of events. We will have also Truck Music Tour, which is also sponsored by Africell, which I would like to thank their support. We have also a training which will come, not this week, but on the following weeks, which is also getting possible by the sponsorship of Global Properties, who helped us for organizing this event today, and also the training for musicians. And then we will finish the series of the event on Saturday, 25th, at the Alliance Française for a big event, free music for all, Fête de la Musique Game Fest. So the Saturday, 25th, will start at 5 p.m. And the idea is really to get, so the Alliance is letting free access to all the artists to the stage, and of course, like organizing all the technique and the promotion. And the event will be free for everyone who wants to join. So I'm inviting families, friends, and every people who wants to enjoy music and discover more of Gambian artists and musicians. And so yes, the idea is really bringing together, because what is the purpose of arts and culture? It's to bring people together, to make a better understanding between people, between cultures, and it's actually our main aims as the Alliance Française. So thank you very much, and yes, I believe all the events will be a great event, and really happy for that.
Sure. Justin, who is the director of Alliance Française. Lately, I've been trying to polish my French, because I have to make sure that whenever Justin speaks or whenever Matilda speaks, I'm able to respond in French. So my French classes will soon begin, and I've had my first test to that effect. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Justin. I think one of the key things that Justin has highlighted is the collaborative activity that we've both decided to do, that is the Musicians Union and Alliance Française, to be able to celebrate musicians and music. And I think listening to the history that they actually decided to bring up, I think that actually talks volume of how much that is not a surprise that Alliance Française have decided to actually partner in this. Looking at the history that which is French oriented, and that is very, very important for us to highlight. So being able to bring that up, I think, is a very, very important thing for us to understand that, of course, it started out in France through the French, and now it's all over the place in every country in this whole world. People celebrate this in different formats, and this is ours. We're in the Gambia, and Alliance Française in the Gambia, and of course the Musicians Union of the Gambia. It's an opportunity for us to do the same and celebrate in our own ways. And in our celebration, like she rightly put it, we have different lineup of activities. So again, Justin, thank you so much. One, for the collaboration with the Musicians Union of the Gambia, but also, like Ali Cham said, your professionalism, your dedication and commitment to make this happen. When we work, usually we will always observe each other very well. And in that observation, we tend to pick certain qualities about each other. And that is one thing that we've really observed about you and your administration. I want to thank you, by extension, Alliance Française, for being this professional and also allowing us to be able to do this together as a unit. Thank you very much, Justin. Thank you very much. Please, can you just give Alliance and Justin on the item on the program schedule now is going to be a statement by the Museum president. So we'll now invite the president. Let me try to act this out a little bit. I don't know how it's going to work. We'll now invite the president of the Musicians Union of the Gambia to make a statement. Actually, that is me, so I will still do the statement. Anyway. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much once again for making it to this very, very important opening. This opening is to celebrate World Music Day, which is usually celebrated every 21st of June across the world. And this year, Musicians Union of the Gambia, in collaboration with Alliance Française Gambia, will be celebrating World Music Day. And just like Justin said, we'll be celebrating World Music Day in an array of activities, starting from the 20th today, of course, to the 25th. And we'll just highlight the activities and maybe talk a little bit about the synopsis of those activities so that we can have a clearer understanding of what the activities will look like coming forward. We are having today the official opening, which is happening right now. And right after this, we'll be moving on to the Music Convergence. Now, the Music Convergence is an avenue for us musicians and artists to come together to discuss about our common problems. Most of the times, we have so many problems that we talk about on a daily basis. We don't have this, we should be giving that, we deserve this. But are we really looking at those situations and carefully tailor-made them for the people or the stakeholders that are responsible to be able to take care of those situations? And this is why it's important for us to have the Music Convergence. It's going to be the first edition, and the idea is to be able to have it year in, year out. And in this, we're going to have results. Part of what we want to do is to discuss our common problems. Discussing our common problems is one thing, but also to look at possible solutions. Those solutions, we will have to tag institutions or individuals or stakeholders who will be directly responsible in remedying those situations. We have to take our institutions accountable for what they are expected to do. We have to take them accountable for what objectives that they have, are they achieving it or not? Are they giving us our due as musicians? If they are not giving it to us, then we have a responsibility to go to them and tell them, give us what we deserve or what we want. And this is going to be an avenue for us to discuss our problems. We all have diverse problems that we have. And those diverse problems need to be discussed. And at the end of the day, by the end of the day today, we should have a 10 demand point that we are taking to different stakeholders that it concerns for them to support or for them to remedy. Which means all of us out here will be signing this. And then we'll make sure that we take it to this institution, which I would really want to mention. One is the National Assembly Select Committee for Arts and Culture, who we feel needs to know what we are going through, who we feel needs to know what they need to do at policy level to support the musicians of this country, the artists of this country. And that is why we'll be having the results of, or let's say the recommendations or the 10 demand point given to them at the National Assembly. Remember, these are the people that make our laws. So there is no better place that we can go to than the Select Committee. And this Select Committee should be able to drive our interest to the rest of the National Assembly. And then we'll also be doing the same thing to the National Center for Arts and Culture. They have a responsibility to the musicians of the Gambia and artists of this country. What are they doing about that? We need to look at it. How are they doing it? We need to look at it. And how do they take responsibility for their actions towards the artists and musicians of this country? That needs to be looked at. And then that is why they are going to be one of the institutions that we are taking this to, for them to look at and pinpoint issues that affect us based on, I'm going to say, their actions or the way they work. This is very, very important for us to really highlight. And also, it's very important for also to do this with the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, because this is our direct line ministry, which means that they need to know what our problems are. How do we do to make sure the minister at that level is able to directly know what is going on with us? You know, we need, as far as I'm concerned, we need not to have that too much barrier to get to the minister. We need to be able to say we want this and then be able to see the minister, because he is basically there for us. Likewise, we are here for him as well. So this is something that we must also do, and this is what we are going to be discussing at the convergence. Of course, up to the president's level, of course, His Excellency the President, we will want to make sure that these 10 demand points will have to reach him, and then he needs to know our problems, and by extension, he should be able to work together with his cabinet to be able to sort something out. We have to understand, and I just attended recently freedom of expression, let's say, you know, artistic freedom. For musicians, which was just done at the just concluded launching of the Pan-African Network for Artistic Freedom. And one of the things that we talked about is, you know, artistic freedom in general. And we really need to look at that as well. So I think just to give you a synopsis, that's how the convergence today is going to look like. This is what we'll be discussing today, and then we'll be picking our 10 demand points moving out from there. The other activity is going to be the truck tour. And just like Justin said, this will be able to take us to different communities outside. It is in Alliance ideas to make sure that we take music out to the streets, to the people. Let's not keep music to our venues. Musicians will only do music when they call and say, okay, I'm doing my album launching, or I'm doing something for musicians, or something for myself, so I want you to come and pay and enter. But this time around, we want to use musicians and artists to be able to take music out to the people. This is a day for us to celebrate, World Music Day. We celebrate ourselves for the music that we do, the good music that we do. And remember, music is therapy. So we want to now give out to the people in that way. And that is why Alliance Tour is very important, of course, in this collaboration, to be able to have a truck tour whereby we will be able to have musicians to go with us to Westfield and then play 1 hour, 30 minutes there maybe. You know, music, we play music free for people to enjoy themselves. And then we go to Serekunda, do the same thing, go to Bakau and maybe other, other communities as well. The idea is to be able to take music out to the people and serve as a way to celebrate World Music Day in our own way. So, the other activity definitely is going to be the training of musicians. I think one of the things that we have had over the years is having situations whereby musicians have key elements that they need not taken care of. So how do we bridge that gap? Bridging that gap, it means we need to capacitize each other. We need to know what are the key elements that we need to have as musicians to be able to do what we got to do. For example, and I've always said this, and it's very disheartening, but that is the hard fact. You look at so many musicians in this country who even have big names and are making things happen, but they don't have common things like a press kit. And a press kit is more of your face without your face, if you understand the language I'm speaking. It's more of talking about you when you're not even seen. Who are you as a musician, as an artist? Who are you? And we don't really have that. So we want to make sure that at least we have this training, which is going to be part of what we were doing, so that musicians will be, or artists will be able to develop their own press kits, even if they don't have a management to do that for them, which is very, very important. So this is one of the things, amongst other things like freedom of expression, and so on and so forth, that we'll be discussing, on the training, to capacitize musicians as well. So the final activity that we have, which is the biggest, and this is the one that I think we're putting most of our energy into, and I have to say this, it's very dear to us that we're actually having this, of course. I'm going to say with Alliance Francaise at the forefront. I really want to give them credit for doing this. We want to do this, but the energy that they've also put into it and the resources, for me, is the reason why I want to give them credit for it. And also, we find ourselves here, we're doing this here, but we are not paying a dime for it, even though we are expected to pay in this place. When we had the idea of doing the World Music Day, we said we are going to Alliance and we're going to go pay for this place and pay for the venue as well, that's for the amphitheater. But when we approached them, they said, we wanted to do this and you want to do this, so let's collaborate to make it happen. So it's free here, it's free over there, but that is their input, plus even more physical cash that they are also committing to this. I don't really want to mention how much, but it's a lot of money that they are doing to make sure that we have a successful program. So Alliance Francaise, I really want to thank you so much for supporting this particular program. So the GAMFest is going to be live performances for musicians, of course selected musicians for that matter, or artists for that matter. We'll be having bands that will be backing those. I think we'll be having 3 bands, and each of the bands will be backing 3 different artists that are carefully selected from the Female Artists Association, culture, contemporary, and of course the live band aspect of what we do. Because if you look at the composition of the union, that is what it entails. So we wanted to make sure that we have, an evenly distributed representation from the different angles of the music union of the Gambia. And of course with the Alliance, also being able to acquire the service of a jazz band that is in this country to also showcase on that particular day, which is very, very important. So again, it's going to be a day of merrymaking, it's going to be a day of dancing, it's going to be a day of enjoying ourselves, and also to showcase our talent out there for the families and people, music lovers and sympathizers that will be here on that day to actually watch. We all have a responsibility as musicians, of course, as the media, to be able to disseminate the information, to get people to come and be a part of this congregation. And on the 25th, of course, we're going to be having this at the Alliance Francaise. It's going to be a very, very nice day. To be honest, I cannot really wait. I think if you want to see me sing, that is the day. But we are really looking forward to it, and by extension, we want to invite everyone out there government officials, institutions, individuals, our families, our all just to bring our families, our kids, because we want to start from 5. From that time going on, we have face painting and other stuff happening that are side attractions. This is just to make sure we have an environment that is conducive for every member of the family. And that is the idea, for us to enjoy ourselves, for us to enjoy music. So I don't really want to bore you too much on my statement, but I also want to thank our sponsors that actually stood by us to make this happen. And I've talked about Allianz. I think for Allianz, to be honest, I think anything I said will be an overemphasis on the support and of course the partnership that we're already having to make this happen. But I also want to thank Global Properties. Global Properties has been one of the institutions in this country. I don't think there is much of an artist in this country who have had an activity that is not supported by Global Properties. The Gambian company, and they're doing a lot to support Gambian and Gambian talent. So again, under the dynamic leadership of Mr. Sol Fraser, we want to thank Global Properties so much for coming to our rescue. That's the best way I can say it. To come into our rescue to make this happen. I tell you what, it is the only Gambian-owned company that has supported this. Of course, there is one more, but I'm going to say this. It's the first institution that came to support. That is the reality. So I want you to please join me to give them a round of applause for supporting this event. Also, we have DK Telecom. DK Telecom is a telecommunication company that is dealing with internet service providing and so on and so forth. They are also an institution that is supporting this gathering or this one-week event by providing us with free access to Wi-Fi so that we can be streaming live of all the activities that we want to stream live. So again, as a Gambian company, they're also stepping up to make that happen for us. I have got word. I'm not sure if I should put this across, even though it's not confirmed. Yes, I've got word from the National Center for Arts and Culture that they will be giving us a token to also contribute to the celebration. And this I've got from the Director General himself, and said we should definitely make a request for an amount. I don't want to mention the amount, but I think from here we can discuss that. That is our level. And then we take it to them and they can give us the money and we can put. So please put your hands together for National Center for Arts and Culture. We also want to thank Africell Gambia for supporting us as well to make things happen for the World Music Day celebration, which is taking us a week. Basically, if you look at the composition of what we are doing, they have come to support as, I'm going to say, the only GSM company that is working with us on this. And of course, we know Africell have been supporting, I'm going to say, all musicians in this country when it comes to what you do, of course, depending on what capacity it is. But to be honest, we want to thank Africell so much for being a part of this booth to make this happen. So thank you so much, Africell, for supporting us. And on a final note, I just want to thank all the musicians that are here today. Whether you know it or not, this means a lot. It does. Because I'm trying not to get emotional here. Because this is our trade. This is what we do. This is what we know how to do best. So when we need people to come out to support us, we need ourselves to support ourselves. And it's very disheartening. I am sorry, I just get emotional about this because I'm a musician, I'm an artist, so it means a lot to me when we answer to our own call. At the end of the day, we'll be going out there asking questions when we have answers in our own hands, but we decided not to look at the right direction to get those answers. What I'm going to urge musicians of this country, if we want institutions, the government and stakeholders to take us serious, we have to take ourselves serious first. I repeat this, we have to take ourselves very serious. I think I will stop there. Like, I don't want to sound like, I don't know, but anyway, thank you so much, guys. We are really, really happy about this. If you have any questions, I think this is the moment for you to do. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. All right, so we are planning to train 40 artists in this country, and we are identifying those artists, but also a lot of musicians or artists are coming forward to say, I want to be a part of the training. Of course, again, that we want to give respect to the different areas of the Musicians Union. That's why we have decided to ask NAFA, which is the National Female Artists Association, of course, an arm of the Music Union, to also give us membership to be a part of this training. Also, Culture too will be sending in some contemporary to the same thing, as well as the live band and so on. So again, this is definitely the number that we'll be having, 40. Yeah. Thank you. Any other question? Anyone else?
Hello. My name is Fatima Kassim from Rockdale FM. I just want to ask, what is the theme for this year's celebration? That is my first question. And can you just tell us about 10 points that Music Jam wants to present to the stakeholders?
What is the team of
Sorry, what is the last question? The tail end? Oh, the 10 points. Okay, fine, perfect. So let me just allow Justin to do the team, and I will do the 10 points.
Thank you very much for the question. So actually the team to organize this year for the Music Jam Fest is really based on two main organizations. So mainly Music Jam with Momodou and Kilaris, and Violence Française with Mathilda, who is our Culture and Communication Officer, and myself. Obviously, as I said again, I'm always open to any type of partnerships. We also had some help with Jazz Association, with whom we are working. But it's mainly as a main organizer, it's Music Jam and Violence Française. So basically what happened is, again, as Violence Française, we are used to organize Fête de la Musique, so it was planned to do it. And I really wanted to do a music truck tour, because to me it's really important to bring music to the most big amount of person. And also we were planning to do a big day at Violence on the 25th. And when I learned about Music Jam expectation, about organizing music convergence and training as well for our musicians, it was really natural for Violence to collaborate. This event is part of what we are doing. Just 2 weeks before, we had a whole week of training here, which we organized with Dance Flex Fusion. And it was a whole week when we had nearly 60 artists and cultural entrepreneurs working here, getting trained for a full week, and then having access also to our stage to showcase their work. So yes, that's the team for the 2022 editions. And I will let Momodou answer your question.
Thank you, Justin. The last question, please, I think I missed it. What was the question? Oh, the 10 points. So the 10 points are not going to be determined by me. It's going to be determined by the musicians and artists that are going to be here to be a part of the convergence. So at the end of the day today, we will definitely have the 10 demand points that will be going out to these institutions. And then we will try to make sure that we avail it to all the media houses, possibly with a press release that we will want to put out to all media houses, and it can be an open book for everyone to read. At the end of the day, we would have all known that this is what the musicians want, and this is what they're putting forward to what specific institution, and we can take them accountable for that. Thank you.
Thank you.